Shalom, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Bakaleb Consulting, going over business principles with you, how to be successful, how to gain wealth, and showing you how it's done biblically. Praise Yahweh, glory to Yahweh. As you know, I am a follower of Yahweh, his son Yahweh ben Yahweh, and his son Ahia. So everything I do, I always give thanks and praise to my God, Yahweh. Praise Yahweh. All right, let's get started. The spiritual law of sowing and reaping in business. We are going to deal with today Galatians chapter 6, verses 7 through 9. And it says, Be not deceived. God is not mocked. We know God is a title, so I say Yahweh. I'll say God for your purpose. God is not mocked. For whatsoever man soweth, that shall he also reap. For he that soweth to his flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption. But he that soweth to the Spirit shall of the Spirit reap life everlasting. And let us not be weary in well doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not. You have to think about it as like planting a seed, and you have to water it, water it, water it, and watch it grow. And as it grow, it takes time. You see the seedling start to sprout, and it starts to grow and grow, and you keep tending to it until it becomes a full-fledged tree and can bear whatever fruit that you planted. It does not happen overnight. That's why the scripture says, in due season we shall reap if we faint not. You cannot give up. You cannot get tired. You cannot say, "Oh my gosh, it's not happening." You're giving up. Don't ever give up, because you reap what you sow. If you sow a little, Yahweh will give you a little. If you sow a lot, you'll receive a lot. That's just a spiritual law. That's just a law that Yahweh put out there. The universal law of sowing and reaping. It's both a natural law, planting seeds, and you get harvest, and a spiritual law. You plant the seeds, which is your business, and you get harvest. Every choice, every habit, every investment you make is a seed. What you reap tomorrow depends on what you sow today. You can't think, well, I am just going to sit and it will come to me. Money comes to me, money comes to me. No, you have to actually sow. You have to actually work. You have to think the more I put in, the more Yahweh is going to give to me. Yahweh will bless my hands abundantly. Just work. You have to sow the seeds. Every act of hard work, discipline, saving, giving, and learning is a seed. Sowing excellence will reap you trust and clients. Sowing laziness is going to reap loss and failure. I tell you, I go into businesses. For example, let's talk about a nail shop. All right, go into a nail shop and they act like they don't want to serve you. Just like they said they have a right to refuse service, you have a right to refuse service. I will walk out. If I go somewhere and I don't feel welcome, I will walk out. There's nothing binding me to stay there. I will leave. I don't need to give you my money. And that's how customers are going to treat you if you're not sowing in excellence. Financial sowing, making wise investments and fair dealings. So putting your resources into things that grow over time rather than wasting the money. And putting your resources into things that grow over time rather than having it waste away. Investing in your business like tools, skills, and assets rather than chasing quick pleasures. When you go into businesses and taxes, a lot of your hardwares that you have, your tools, that those are write-offs, those are assets. Also, you have to show honesty and integrity in all of your transactions. Not cheating, lying, or manipulating customers. People will manipulate a customer in a heartbeat, or they will cheat or lie. Don't do it. Don't do it. Be fair, because those fair dealings will build trust, reputation, and long-term success. Though the little dishonest sowing that you do, it only reaps short-term gain, but long-term destruction. There is no need to cheat. Be fair in all of your dealings. That builds trust and reputation and long-term success. Relationship sowing. You have to treat your customers, employees, and partners with respect. Some people think being controlling is being a good manager. Stop it. No, it's not. You don't have to prove to someone that you're the boss. Everyone will know it. Treat your employees with respect. Not just be a pushover, but you have respect. And treat your customers with respect and your business partners with respect. Every customer is a person Yahweh values. Serving them with honesty, fairness, and care is sowing seeds of trust. And you can find that in Matthew 7:12, it said, therefore, all things whatsoever he would that men would do to you, do he even so to them. For this is the law and the prophets. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. When you go into someone's business, or when you call customer service, any kind of transaction you make with someone, you want respect. So do the same for others. Sowing kindness and respect into customers build loyalty and word of mouth growth that money cannot buy. Oh my gosh, having one good customer is one of the best advertising that your business would ever have, because that word of mouth. And know that people buy from people who they like and also people who they trust. So if someone say, hey, you know what? I know such and such who do such and such, they'll go there. I think in a previous slide I told you guys about someone who I told a family to give an opportunity to go ahead and wash the cars, and he stole one of the gate passes to come into the community because we have a security at the gate, and he stole the pass. And I knew he stole it. We called him and he's like, oh, did you check the car? And yeah, I checked that car. It was not in that car. He said, let me check. He said, oh, it's in my wallet. I just found it. I'll drop it off. See? And for that, he got canceled. He was no longer able to wash any of our cars, and we paid him well, and it was multiple cars. Not only that, he wanted to go through the neighborhood, and we know a lot of the neighbors because with it being such a community and being secured, told the neighbors, nope. See, word of mouth. If you have dishonesty, no one will do business with you, and it will be spread. So you want to build loyalty, because word of mouth can tear you down or build you up. Types of sewing, relationship sewing continues. Let's continue. Employees are not just laborers, they're part of the vision. Treating them with fairness and cares sows seeds of productivity and loyalty. Productivity and loyalty. How you treat those under your leadership is how Yahweh will measure your stewardship. Are you a righteous leader? Do you show people respect? Do you build up or tear down? Also, your business partners, relationships with vendors, partners, and collaborators. Those require integrity and mutual respect. Partnerships thrive when both sides feel valued and honored. A lack of respect sows discord, mistrust, and broken opportunities. You gotta have respect. You must. You have to. You have to. Someone will hear my accent and be like, probably don't trust me or don't think that, okay, well, I understand what I'm doing. And then when I bust out the credentials, yeah, I said bust out because sometimes I have to do that when I show the credentials, or when I say, okay, let's flip the script and show them something. They're like, oh, see, because that's the ignorant mind. The ignorant mind cannot conceive what they don't understand. And rather than understanding, they draw preconceived notions. So sometimes I have to let them know. So it's the same thing. Respect people. Respect. Have respect. Have respect, and that will take you a long way. The harvest of relational sowing. Seeds of respect is harvest of loyalty, trust, and long-term growth. Seeds of neglect. If you neglect your customers, neglect their issues, one of the things you'll see customers put reviews and BBB, and even though you're not a member of the Better Business Bureau, they still will take your complaints, and they'll send you the information. Now, all those unanswered complaints, people look at. The bad reviews online, people look at. So seeds of neglect or exploitation harvest a high turnover, mistrust, and collapse. I've seen call centers where they have a high turnover. And you go in and they're like, oh, the employees are lazy. And I'm like, well, let me see the manager. Who's the manager? Because if the head is sick, the body is sick. So who's the manager? What is your management tactic? What is the culture of the call center? You have to dig into those. You have to show respect, and you cannot neglect when people are talking to you, especially your employees. You have to build trust. You want loyalty and long term growth? Well, build trust, build loyalty, show loyalty. What you have to remember is business is not only about money, it is about people. People are what makes your business. If there's no people to purchase your product or utilize your service, you have no business. Every relationship is a field, and every interaction is a seed. The seeds you sow into people today will determine the harvest you reap tomorrow in reputation, stability, and blessings. 100% guaranteed. 100% guaranteed. And I'll let you read that. I will pause so you can read what I have on screen. Another thing when they say pray over your business, one of the thing is give Yahweh first portion. Always give 10%. Yahweh 10%. The 10 savings and then the rest, expenses and so forth. Praying over your business, you have to pray to Yahweh. Ask Yahweh to bless what you're doing. Ask Yahweh, is it right what you're doing? Ask Yahweh to show you and guide you. That's praying over your business. You talk to Yahweh about what's going on and ask for his direction. This means acknowledging him as owner by tithing and first fruit offerings. So you're honoring Yahweh with your substance of your labor. First fruit of all your increase. Praying over your business, you talk to Yahweh first. If you're going to do something, you pray to Yahweh to ask that it go according to his will. What you give to Yahweh is not lost. It sanctifies and multiplies what remains. I mean, really, I don't even order food. Like, I'm not a food orderer, but like, if something is going to be DoorDash, I talk to Yahweh first. I am not just going to have someone bring something that I did not pray about. I go into a store and I'm doing that. You have to include Yahweh in everything. You want to be prosperous? Why not include the person who created prosperity? Why not include the person that promises abundance? All right. I know you got something out of this video today. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Keep this video, download it, listen to it, or just replay it so you can understand. I would listen to it if I were you and take notes and go back and review. I am not going to be the happy go jolly screaming carrying on this. What I do is I give you relevant, pertinent, valuable information that you can utilize not only in your life but also in your business to generate wealth and to generate lasting success. So glory to Yahweh, praise Yahweh. Thank you so much for joining today. Glory to